Hey everyone, this is just going to be a little BTS vlog slash recap. I know it's not for everyone, but it is what it is. So I just want to say thanks everyone for the crazy positive response that this first episode has been providing. It's wild to think that, something I'm into, other people enjoy. So I appreciate everyone who's reached out. Some people that I haven't talked to in a couple of years have actually reached out. So that means a lot. I really appreciate you guys clicking on this because I'm most likely going to have it unlisted. So if you're watching this, you're the best. And I appreciate you. So in these videos, I'll just go over gear. And I apologize if that's not your thing, but this is what it's going to be. So let's talk about how this all started. Well, 2024 has been a super weird year so far. Definitely not quite as busy as I usually am. And instead of doom scrolling at home, I figured I'd make use of the spare time I have and create something I always love watching, which is any kind of food show. If you can see here, I'm crazy sweaty because it's that odd time of year where it's ice cold outside and boiling inside. So I figured I would just keep my warm toque on and my winter coat on and film inside the hot food trailer. So that's why I'm sweaty. I'm not out of shape, guys. I'm definitely getting out of shape again. So I grew up loving food shows. It was either the Food Network or Seinfeld. Those were my go-tos. But since no one can recreate Seinfeld, not even Jerry himself, I figured I'd attempt making my own food series. So if you're a fan of anything like Munchies or Eater, Bon Appetit, I'm sure you'll see some kind of resemblance from these episodes. So my goal in this series is to bring awareness to the locals of their fellow locals and the phenomenal food that they create. So I'm highlighting the day in the life of what they do, what they go through, and have them share stories of how they got there. We go over dishes they offer, talk about ingredients and make them unique and what makes them unique. And we start from opening the restaurant all the way to like serving guests. So my first episode is of pizza pie. It started, Laura and I were out walking dogs. I wasn't working as much. We were taking the dogs out to the fairgrounds and I noticed Mark's food trailer. I figured I'd send him a cold DM on Instagram and ask if he was interested in this type of shoot. So I made it very clear that I'm not interested in making like hype reel content, flashy Instagram reels, the stuff you see on Instagram every day. That's awful. I want to avoid that. So that editing is just so draining, and basically everyone does it nowadays. So that whole influencer look where everything is perfectly executed and color graded professionally, I just want this to feel like you're there experiencing it in real time. I want things to play out, breathe. Mark was super awesome and such a good sport about everything. It was basically no questions asked or any idea spewing from him to utilize my time. He just trusted and gave me full creative control to do whatever I had in mind. So I really appreciate him doing that. So shout out to Mark for being 100% on board with everything and just being very go with the flow. Shooting this was a lot of fun. I started off on the night of the Eat Drink Norfolk, which we just finished watching the B-roll for. You can see Mark had a haircut, which made for my quotes, looks like it was shot in one day idea to not work. I really overthought this. Like, it took me a day or two to be like, okay, I edit chronologically because his haircut, and I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna put it in wherever. Like his hair's long at the end, his hair's long at the start. Like it makes no sense. He's got a haircut middle, whatever. I just said screw it. So yeah, it is not edited chronologically, just so you know. I just mixed all the clips together. Eat Drink Norfolk. I reached out to him a few days before this when I cold DM'd him, and I figured, you know, the crowds of people would be really helpful to the video. So when I DM'd him, it was about 1 or 2 days after was the event. So it didn't give me much time to prep for this whole shoot, but I had a basic idea. It was go with the flow, just shoot enough B-roll and ask some questions on camera, then decide what I need. Like go through the edit, figure out what I need to collect anything that's missing that would like enhance the edit. So the main thing I noticed is that I shot wide way too much on day one. I had almost no tight details, like no hands working, no pizza cooked. There was no details. It was just all at 20 mil, establishing stuff. So the next thing I realized is that I should shoot slow motion. I shot all 24 frames for day one, which is all right, but the option to slow things down it's just super helpful. I think the last thing, it's a pretty big one, but the audio, there's a switch on the FX3 audio handle, and I was switching that constantly throughout day one because channel 3 was the lavaliers on them. So what they were talking into, what you would hear Mark and Kayla talk into or his family talk into. And I would switch to channel 3 if I was talking to them, like doing an interview, when I should have just kept it on channel 1. Because swapping that actually made one of the microphones mono, which means you can't isolate the audio. So that kind of screwed me because if 2 of them were talking, I wasn't able to isolate them. So if someone's like coughing in the back, those coughs are just going to be over them talking. So channel 1 forever now. It's not moving at all. As you can see from the BTS, basically everything is handheld. I shot on one lens with the FX3. I shot on the 20mm to 70 f4. This lens is so nuts. I got it from Walmart. It was like $300 cheaper than anywhere else. But that extra reach on the wide end is so nice, especially for these tight areas. Like I'm able to get basically a whole body in frame and still be like 4 feet away from them. Like it's just super wide. It's so nice. And that f4, it really doesn't matter because the FX3 can go to such high ISOs that shooting in the dark is still doable. Like I just leave an ND on that lens all the time, a variable ND. So I have an EC True Color VND, and that thing is very good. So yeah, I'm hoping to customize this rig. The rig is very tall. I feel like everything that I put on it just keeps getting taller and taller. I might switch to a shoulder rig, just have everything on my shoulder and maybe put the monitor on the side of the camera, which is going to be right on my face if it's like sitting on my shoulder, but we'll see. I don't know if I want to invest in so much gear right now. People have already followed me and emailed me, and I have basically a queue of people wanting this type of video. So expect to see more episodes. So look forward to that. And again, thank you to everyone who's commented and liked and subbed and whatever. I appreciate you all. Love you. Take care.
My name is Mark Nixon. I own Pizza Pie Food Truck. I'm located here at the Norfolk County Fairgrounds, 172 South Drive in Simcoe.
Done day 2 with Pizza Pie. I'm walking home because Kayla has a broken toe and Mark can't leave her alone to do everything because she can't walk.